had met this man in the Walmart checkout line, he was an old man, you know what I'm saying, like old enough to be my papa, you know what I'm saying. He was just talking, being nice, being cool. He wasn't being disrespectful or anything, you know what I'm saying. Then after we had, talked through the line at the line and finally, cleared at the end of the line, he asked me, can I get my number? I gave him my number, you know what I'm saying. I was just talking on the phone. I wasn't trying to date the man or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying. He was old enough to be my papa. But nonetheless, was on the phone talking to him. Me and him had been talking on the phone about a good month and a half. You know what I'm saying? And, he was telling me, all the stuff he had to did in life and how he had to work for the school and been working for ROTC and just doing a lot with his life. You know what I'm saying? I was glad to hear that, but he had told me he had lost his wife. And how he was sad and how his wife used to watch TV with him and how she used to watch golf with him and tennis and the football game and how she had, and when she was no longer around and he just really just wanted somebody just to be a friend to him. I was like, well, I don't mind, I don't mind. I mean, I'm a single woman, I don't mind. I wasn't trying to holler at him or date him or anything like that. I was like, I don't mind, coming over there to, watch TV with you, watching the game with you and stuff like that. So, one day he invited me over there. Like I said, I had been getting to know him about a good little month and a half. I should have got to know him a little better, but it wouldn't matter. Nonetheless. So, he invited me over and asked me, before I got over there, he said, his wife did all the cooking, so he didn't really know how to cook. He asked me, do I want something to eat? Yeah, I want something to eat. I'm going to watch the game because I want something to eat. I ain't going to just be over here just, chilling like that. So he be like, well, what you want? I was like, well, I take a pizza and a Coke, it's right around the corner, from where you at, and, boom, bam, we don't have to go all around from here to there, so I had ordered my little pizza, got my little Coke, you know what I'm saying, and then I was in my vehicle, of course, so and followed him over around there to his house, and, we had sat down, we had watched the game, he was telling me about how he had worked for, Ronald Reagan, baby, Ronald Reagan, the president, baby, showed me the picture and everything, showed me pictures of him and, Andrew Jackson, you know what I'm saying, and was telling me how he was, a drill sergeant. I was just, really in awe. I was really in awe in how, this man had done all these different things with his life and had met all these important people in his life. And I was, just listening to his stories and, what I'm saying, eat my little food or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, dog, this a nice dude. He was saying how he worked for the high schools and the middle school, teaching kids about how to do ROTC and stuff. So I'm saying to myself, oh, this a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? He a cool guy. He did a lot. He's saying how he been fought for wars and stuff like that. And he been in the army and stuff like that. He showed me all the pictures on his wall of this here and how he was with this person. Like, oh, yeah, nice, cool dude. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we were watching the game, so I felt very comfortable with him. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't feeling in no way uncomfortable with him at all. So we had watched a little football game, whatever the case may be, and, that was that. You know what I'm saying? After the football game went off, I went on here and left. So a little while later, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, he asked me, would I mind coming over to hang out with him again and watch the game with him again. Of course, I ain't think nothing of it because, like I said, I had already hung out with the dude before, and it was, far as I was concerned, a nice little vibe, you know what I'm saying? And he was telling me, things about himself, that made me feel comfortable, and like I was, had already let him know up front, I'm not looking for no relationship. You say you're looking for a friend, that's what I'm here to be, a friend. And I had been telling him that on the phone. He told me I understood, that he was too old for me. He my dad, granddaddy age and all that, so he told me I understood. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I had went over there on this here particular day. He asked me again, do you want something else to eat? Me being respectful of the fact that, first of all, I'm not trying to date you. I'm not trying to holler at you because I would not have been ordering pizza and Coke if I was trying to holler. I'm just tell you that now. I'd have been somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I digress, as my son always say. But nonetheless, he said, what you want? I was like, my usual, you can just give me my little pizza, my little Coke, you know what I'm saying? We can sit back and watch the little game, whatever. So, we was watching the game, whatever the case may be. I was like chilling, like I said, at this point in time, to me, I was just like in chill mode, because, dude, this man did work for Ronald Reagan, you know what I'm saying? This man over there got pictures of him and Jesse Jackson together. This man that country. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm in here with a soldier. A sergeant and thing. I'm chilling. So, after I ate my pizza, whatever the case may be, because I ain't eating up with a couple of pieces of the pizza, because, I can't really eat much. But nonetheless, I was, set it to the little side or whatever, and he was like, oh, you done got food? I was like, yeah, I done got food. You done ate that pizza? I was like, yeah, you done ate that pussy. You feeling good now, ain't you? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling good, sitting over there just watching the game. Well, it's my turn to feel good. I'm like, what? What? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He said, what mine is it? I'm like, oh, okay. So I was thinking he was talking about the pizza. I'm trying to give me a piece. I was like, all right, cool. I reach over there, trying to give him the pizza. Oh, no, I ain't talking about no pizza. What? you say you was trying to get a piece of, so definitely I'm thinking you talking about a piece of pizza. Cause but you know what I'm saying. I'm like, he was like, no, I ain't talking about no pizza. So I'm sitting over here like, and all. So I set the pizza down because I'm like, piece of what? You know what I'm saying? He talking about a piece of that, what you got between your legs. I'm like, oh, Lord. That's what I think. I was like, look, man, you know, I just came over here to be friends and chill out and watch the game with you. You know, you told me about your wife and how she passed away and how you was looking for a friend. And I thought we had that good and understood. You know, you trying to do all that talking now. That's what he told me. You trying to do all that talking now. Well, you done sit there and ate up all my pizza and then sit there and ate up the Coke and drunk up the Coke. And now you want to sit here and talk about me and my wife. I ain't brought you over here for that. You done got what you wanted. Now it's time for me to get what I want. He said, I'm like, I said, look, I ain't ate up all the pizza. I ain't ate nothing but a couple slices. Let me get you know, you can get the rest of it. I ain't even got to take the box like the rest of it with me like I did the last time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're getting over on me. That's what you're doing. You're getting over on me. How I'm getting over on you? He say, you sit here, last time you came here, you took the pizza with you, and you took the Coke with you, and now you're sitting here and got full off my pizza and my Coke, and now I can't get nothing. I'm like, well, you told me friendship was the deal, right? You know, so surely you entertain company with food. This man was like, nah, I ain't entertained by getting what I want and you getting what you want. So he reached over there, you know what I'm saying, grab it between my legs, try to pull my legs open, you know what I'm saying. Now, might I remind you, before I even got in this matter, I was at all this time I'm saying to myself, if this man ever try anything with me, I don't care if I had to hit the Muhammad Ali on him, if I had to hit the Jackie Chan on him, I don't really care. I don't care if I had to hit that Karate Kid Mr. Miyagi on him. I was going to get him because I was just figured this man not old enough to be my daddy, old enough to be my papa. I can get him. It ain't nothing. I'm going to beat this man up if he try anything. So this man grabbing out on my legs, pulling my legs all open and all this here. And I'm sitting over here like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Get off me, man. You know, quit playing. You know, I don't know what you got going on. I told you what you want, your money. I don't want my money. I want my piece just the way that I gave you. I said, well, I ate that piece. He said, yeah, and I'm finna get it up out you. I'm like, no, we ain't finna go there. We ain't gonna go with to get it up out me because, you know, the only way to get it up out me is, no, come on now. I said, you want your money? I'll give you your money back for that pizza and that Coke. It ain't no big deal. Now, it's a big deal to me. He told me it's a big deal to me. You want to sit around here and talk right now. That's how y'all women is. Y'all want to sit and have a man get y'all full and get y'all drink. Y'all forget all about the fact that a man wants something too. You ain't finna play me like that. You gonna give me some of this cat for that pizza and that Coke. You to sit there and ate up. But I was sitting over here like, wow, this man is tripped out. So me, myself, personally, I'm trying to, you know, get up off the couch because I'm over here you know, sitting on the couch. I was sitting there eating, you know, watching TV. Man, this man was stronger like the man off Don't Breathe. Stronger like Hercules. This man was strong. I had underestimated the point that an old man could be so strong. I guess I wasn't thinking that all this army experience this man had and protecting the president wasn't going to come into play. Baby, it came into play so hard that day. This man was sitting over here. I'm talking about we was over there rustling, tussling. I'm like, hold on, man, you know. Hold up. The girl ain't signed up for all this here. Hold up. What you think you signed up for? You got your pizza. I done told y'all already. I ain't finna play with no more of y'all women when it come to this feeding y'all and y'all. I done wine and dine y'all and I still can't get nothing. I was sitting over here like, I said, well, look, you know, sir, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do all this here. You know, let's talk about it. It ain't nothing to talk about. You wasn't talking while you was sitting there eating all that pizza. You wasn't talking when you was throwing my Coke down your mouth. You wasn't talking then. Now you want to sit here and talk. I ain't got nothing to talk about. It's time to do some action now. This man got to study back, pull it all, and, you know, grabbing all on me, pulling my shirt off, trying to pull my shirt off me, and I was like, you know, coming all out of breath, because I'm sitting over here like, I'm really having to fight this man, My Jackie Chan ain't working, you know what I'm saying, my Bruce Lee ain't working, my doggone Muhammad Ali ain't like it. I'm thinking I'm going to have to take this dude, you know, choke his ass, you know, choke. I couldn't even get to that. I was going to grab him. I had everything planned on what I was going to do this man if this man came to me. But when this man came to me, man, all my strength went out the door. I'm talking about not like out the door like I wasn't fighting, but this man was strong. You know what I'm saying? All the little energy drinks and exercising and stuff he said that he had been doing throughout his life, I underestimated the fact